welcome to my channel, Blue Lotus Gardens. If you're new here, my name's Blue Phoenix from Blue Lotus Gardens. Today I'm going to do a begonia care guide video with also updates from my past video of the begonia lindodon plant rescue. I really want to show how to take care of begonias just because, you know, they get a bad rep just because they're a little fussy, and it's really all in the soil. And I'm going to show you the light requirements, like watering, your humidity, what worked for me, so that way I can relax and enjoy begonias. I think that's really something important that we all look for whenever we're taking care of our plants, regardless of how high maintenance our plants are. We need like that balance to where we know how to maintain a relaxing vibe for both you and your plant, so that way you both are happy in your space. First, if you can like, subscribe, and comment down below, let me know how you like the video, and or if you watched my past videos, let me know, because I've always am looking to improve my videos and the quality of them. I really appreciate everybody's support in liking my videos and subscribing, so thank you so much. I really appreciate y'all. Okay, on to the video. Alright everyone, so this will be the lighting part of the video. I would like to show you the best lighting for your begonia. You don't want to do direct light. Direct light will scorch your plant and cause it to wither, and the foliage will wither away and die. So what I have set up right here behind me, as you can see, my little dog. She's so sweet. But I have a terracotta pot with my begonia, a cash pot with my little begonia here, and then I have this also another terracotta cash pot over here as well. But if you see the lighting, how it's hitting the plant and the foliage, that is indirect lighting. Indirect lighting is high filtered light, or when there is a bright light and you offset your plant to that light. So definitely not a south facing window. That is something that will just scorch all your plants. Actually, that would scorch all your indoor begonias. Fibrous begonias can handle a little bit more of like direct lighting, but for like cane and Rex type begonias, you'd want to keep it with indirect lighting. But fibrous begonias, which are the ones that you see in Lowe's for like your spring, whenever they bring them out, those are your fibrous begonias. Those are also called wax begonias. And those can handle some direct lighting, but not too long. I would say direct light in the morning, and then move them away in the afternoon. So I always kind of keep them in this like filtered area where they're under the shady tree, and so the light kind of like reflects into them, and it seeps into the tree branches, and it shines pretty well throughout the whole plant, and they grow really crazy. But yeah, this is the lighting part, and this is, so y'all have an example. I'm a visual learner, so this is direct lighting, and that way you know that this is what I use, and the light source that you see is from my grow light. I will put down the grow light, which I use, and the link from Amazon. that I purchased it from, in case you are looking want to look at it and or purchase it. So yeah, that's that would be my lighting part of the begonia. Okay, so now we're going to talk about watering. How to water your begonias, and the best method for you in watering your begonias. So if you're watering your begonias on an every other day basis, you want to just water your begonias slightly. So just a nice good one time around um, watering it, and then that's fine for if you're doing it every other day type but watering. But then if you're doing an every other day watering, you have to keep in mind that you also have to have the soil um, prepared for that type of watering. I think that's where a lot of people get confused about it. So if you have your soil set up to where it is moisture retaining, it's fluffy, it's been amended with either perlite or vermiculite. I'm using vermiculite more because I'm seeing better results from that. And so that's my way of going about it. So if you're doing it every other day watering routine, you have to remember about your soil. Your soil has to be amended with uh, vermiculite or perlite. I know a lot of people use charcoal, but when you use charcoal, you have to be in mind that you can't use a lot of charcoal because it retains a little bit too much moisture, and it will cause your plant to receive root rot. So charcoal is great, but just a sprinkle is all you need inside of it. Usually it already comes in some pretty decent soils. I use my soil from my shop, and I'll link it down below. It has bone meal, it has vermiculite, it has worm castings, it has all these really good things, and it's it's great. It all, and I would just recommend, if you're using it for begonias, just to add a little bit of vermiculite, just to add a little bit more vermiculite to it, and it'll be just right. So yeah, that's what you have to think about, and then also when watering, you have to think about the style of planter you're going to use. So you can go with plastic, which is a pretty good resource if that's what you need to use it. But you have to keep in mind, when you're using plastic, it also retains a little bit more moisture than if you were to use terracotta or some sort of more of a porous style material to your planter. So as you see here, this is my terracotta pot with my little begonia propagation inside of it, and we'll talk more about propagations in later on in the video. But as you see here, like I haven't even watered this in about 2 weeks now, and that's because I keep it in my tote because of the humidity. It is a propagation, so it's not ready to be um, out on shelves yet. So I keep it in a terrarium style environment, um, in there, and to help it push out new growth and stabilize itself a little bit better. I did that with this. As you see, this is a glazed planter, and this also retains moisture, water a little bit more because of the style of planter. So this is something that you have to keep in mind when you're watering as well. Um, and then I don't want to overwhelm you all, but there is cash pots. I'm a little, or cash pots. Um, I use these for propagations or for those plants that I know that I'm probably going to miss. And usually it's for like pretty small propagations. So I keep them in like these little like planters, and I mean, I keep them in these little cash pots, and they just retain moisture well, and I don't have to keep on watering it because when it's smaller, it requires a lot more watering. So you can get on a schedule for that, but it's not as easy as if it would be to get on a schedule with like a 4-inch container begonia. It just it's the amount of water it requires. This is not a begonia, by the way. This is like a peperomia. It's super cute, and I just want to show y'all because it's super adorable. Okay, that's enough. Enough peperomia talk. We'll talk about peperomias another day. But begonias, today's is begonias. But yes, I'm gonna show you how I water my begonia. Okay, so I went outside and I got my package. But I also picked up the wax begonia so y'all could see. This is a fibrous begonia, a wax begonia. These are also like propagatable. Like you just stick it in soil and it'll just take off. um, but yes, so I'm gonna show you how I water my begonia, and so I will water when it looks like this on the top versus when it looks more like, let me take this little Spanish moss off. That's when you don't want to water your begonia. And then as you see here, very close up, that's when it's ready for it to be watered. It's light, and it's also light on top. And so what I do is I just go around the pot once, ensuring that I get all the soil. I let it get all the way to the top, like with it being watered, and then I just I so that's like how I would water it, and I would wait to water it until I see the topsoil is light on top, and that's when I'll water it again. I won't water it as I showed y'all like this. Okay, so next we're talking fertilizers. We're talking slow release fertilizer, and then also liquid fertilizer. Those are the two that I have on hand. I have seen a powder type of fertilizer that you mixed and then you pour it. I don't have that, and so I have what I use and what has been really working for me, so that's what I want to share with y'all. So I have two fertilizers that I use. I have this slow release fertilizer that's a 10-10-10, and so that's 10% in nitrogen, 10% is phosphorates, and 10% in soluble potash. That's what I use, and you just can use this when you're repotting a plant. You want to sprinkle it in when you're mixing your soil in it, and then you could sprinkle on top of it as well, just a little bit, so that way you don't disturb the roots if it's already been planted. Or I use my other liquid fertilizer, that's a 20-20-20. I use this from my shop, and I switched over because I really wanted to see something that I haven't tried before, and I've tried other things, and I really like them, and they're great and all. But I wanted to try something different, and so we had this on as an option. So I wanted to try it and see how it is, and I really like it, and I like how my plants have grown, and like it looks really good. Like I don't know if y'all remember, but I did a video on this guy, and I have been fertilizing it with this one, and it's just growing. Like it just grows. And then I also my elephant ear, I fertilized it just a little bit with this, and then there's like 2-3 new leaves that just came out of nowhere. I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna be like the last time I fertilized it, and it wouldn't stop growing. Like it just wouldn't stop, and I was like, oh my god, this thing is just gonna be so huge. How am I gonna take care of this? But I love it. It's amazing. Okay, so we're gonna fertilize with my liquid fertilizer first, and what you do is you want to use about a tablespoon for a liter, so 1 whole liter like this, and then just a tablespoon. I'm gonna just kind of, that's enough. Like that's all I use. And then you want to mix it. Have my tiny tools here. Okay. And then I have in this really cute cash pot also. As you can tell, I like cash pots. They're easy, and so I wait for the water to seep in throughout the whole plant, like throughout the whole way, and then I water again. And then I wait to see if it's how fast it drains into the water. And since it drained fast, I know that it needs another watering. But since it's in a cash pot, I'm not going to water it again. I will check on it the next day and see how it's doing. But I'm not going to water it after that. And then I'll water it again without fertilizer the next week. That way it just kind of retains all that water, the fertilizer. You want it to just kind of like use it all up, and by using it all up is like kind of like almost going to it being like almost dry but not too dry. And I know everybody says that and it gets repetitive, but you'll understand once you get a hand of it. My recommendation is go to Lowe's, pick up those clearance begonias. Try your luck with those. Keep going with that, and you'll really like start to pick it up. It's if you really like feel like you want to learn, that's the best way. That's what I did. I picked up those clearance begonias, all of the little other begonias, and I just started working my magic on them and seeing what it is. And now I'm really excited that I can share that knowledge with you all, because I feel very very confident in what I'm saying to you all. Not to be arrogant about it or anything like that. It's just I feel very happy about it because I see how they grow, and how when I sell a begonia, I really love when my customers are saying your begonia is doing way better than my begonia. What did you do? And I'm like, it's the soil. You just do this. You just do your soil the way they want it, and just leave them alone and pay attention to them afar, and you'll be fine. and you can always propagate it. This is like one of the best plants to propagate. Next, I'm going to show you also how to fertilize with our low release fertilizer. Put this guy to the side. By the way, do y'all like my new mic? I really appreciate all of y'all like supporting me because now I can get a mic. I have 3 ring lights, so thank you. I really wanted this because I want to talk to y'all about how to take care of your plants, and I'm just so excited. So thank you. So when you open it up, you'll see there's these little balls, like these little pearls and balls in there. That is the fertilizer. So you just want to use a tiny bit, and by a tiny bit I mean a teaspoon or a tablespoon, depending on the size of your plant and the maturity on your plant. So let's say you have this kind of begonia and you want to add a little fertilizer to that, great, you can do it. You just sprinkle a teaspoon. But if you want to use for this kind of begonia, you want to use a tablespoon. And the reason why is because that's enough of like how that's the amount that you need to just feed them. Overfeeding them will cause them to just not perform right and not thrive. So that's how to go about it. And I'll show y'all. So this is basically a teaspoon right here. As you see here, this is enough for this style of as you see here, this is a amount enough for this begonia, and you're just going to sprinkle it around your plant like so. You just want it to go around your plant, like border the plant itself just a tiny bit, like so. Can you, if you could see right here, it's just around this whole part of the plant. Now for this one, you want to use a little bit more, so you don't need to use the tool. You can just this one's a little bit more safer to eyeball it. So what you want to do is sprinkle right there a little bit. Sprinkle right there, just a tiny bit. And then you want to maneuver it around, so that way it is around the plant. It's distributed enough around the plant. Also, while you're doing that, you're also fluffing the soil, which helps your plant breathe a little bit better. So that's always great, and every plant likes that. No, I've never encountered any plant that loves tight, compact soil. They like nice, loose, fluffy soil. Moist, always. I'm totally feeling my ASMR vibes right here. Just so y'all know. Should I do it ASMR? Can you believe it? I don't know. It'll be It'll be quite interesting. Okay. There you are. And in order for your in order for your fertilizer to work, you want to water it lightly. So, just a tad. And then, as you see, it's just a little bit moist now. And then the same here, just a little bit around the plant. I did wipe off the water from the leaves because because if you don't, they will rot and wither away. So we want a nice, beautiful big leaf, just like this one. I found this one at Lowe's, and I love it. I've been looking for this one. Like, I saw it once, but it just looked like super, super gone, and I was like, man, that's gonna take so long, and I really want to enjoy it now. So. And by enjoying it, meaning like, you know, sharing propagations and things like that. So it's been like 3 or 4 days since I've cut it from the plant since I've cut it from this one. It was right here. And as you see, so I cut it from here, right? And then it grows another one shooting out. Very cool. I think that's just so cool. But yeah, this is a propagation. Right here, I could have cut it even more, but I think because it has 2 leaves, it needs this much stem in order. It needs this much stem because the stem carries the energy. So if you have 2 leaves like this, it's definitely going to need a lot of energy for it to really sustain itself. But if you see here, that right there is new growth. And that's where another part of the plant will come out. And so this has been in water for about 4 days now. And so you see, it shows this kind of like black rim around the stem, and not to be alarmed, it's not rotting off or anything. That's just the plant itself emitting its natural rooting hormone in order for it to emit those roots for it to grow. I really find all this stuff fascinating. I think this is really interesting, and it can also be applied with such other amazing things in the world. And knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. I agree. Like, you share it, and other people also can enjoy it, and maybe begonias won't get such a bad rep. But so that's a propagation for a cane begonia. So now we're going to talk about a Rex begonia. So Rex begonias are usually rhizomatous begonias, and they have this rhizome, and they're usually can be creepers, as what some people refers them to. Let me. I'm gonna remove this. Oops. Exposing him. But this is my amazing favorite plant. My favorite. This one's my amazing favorite begonia. But as you see here, that is a rhizome. This is a Rhizomatous Begonia, and you can propagate it by rhizome, which is the most effective and most best way to propagate Rhizomatous Begonias. Um, but you can also propagate them by stem and also by leaf. Leaf uh, cuttings are going to be the fastest for you whenever you propagate it, and then stem water propagations are going to be the slowest for it to root. My theory is that the leaf and the rhizome contain enough DNA structure for it to produce itself in a high rate of a volume versus it being in a stem, just because I feel like this is like a connective part of it. So that's just me being nerdy about it and wondering how how that works. But yeah, so that's what that's how I how to go about that. So this is one of my water propagations from my begonias. The from this begonia that I just showed y'all. Um, those are the roots. When it's rooted like this, it's ready to be planted. I believe I said in one of my previous videos when they were like a little bit smaller, and you can definitely plant it when it's like that. You're just kind of taking a really high risk. So more like this. This is when you want to pot them up. And also a really cool tip. Um, you all know that pothos emit a high rate of a rooting hormone that helps other plants as well to root. But so do begonias. Begonias also have that same high volume of a rooting hormone that they emit. So when you put a begonia cutting in with another cutting, um, they help each other root faster. And I'll show you. This is like one of my little examples, and so I showed y'all with this little begonia that was rooting. They root faster, um, but also there's this pothos, this one right here, and it's rooting fast too. And then I have this one right here. This is a purple waffle uh, cutting, and as you can see, it's regrowing itself and doesn't have any leaf or anything like that. But the power of plants, like they are they are so strong. They are just they are so strong, and it's so cool to like share this knowledge with you all. So when you want to pot up a begonia, if you want to do a single cutting, you want to do it in a small container. And so this is the size of the container you want to use for like a single begonia, tiny prop like that. And then I'm starting to now amend it with vermiculite because it's what I'm seeing helps it, and actually helps it a lot more than perlite. So I'm trying that out, and if y'all are trying it out, let me know in the comments down below, or have tried it out. So I filled it all the way up to the top, and now I'm going to mix it up. Okay. So this is it mixed up now. I'm going to make a little hole like in the middle for it. And then we're just going to pot them up. So here you are. And now we're just going to water him a little bit. Just enough to where it like fills up to the rim of the container. And if any extra water is out like on this dish like this, you could just leave it and it'll absorb it. It'll bottom water it, and it'll be fine. Especially now since it's fluffy and it's been amended, it's not going to rot it. It's going to absorb just enough, in maybe about 3 hours or so, and you'll see the enough, like you'll see how heavy it gets, and then all the extra water you just pour it out. And then the other style is by leaf cuttings, like so. I have a previous video that I've done where I show how to do this, and in my blog this week I show how I've done it for this begonia. So I hope you would all enjoy my vlogs. They're fun for me, and I really enjoy sharing all this with y'all. So thank you all for being a part of this. Really appreciate it. But I'm going to make more to show y'all. I'm gonna cut this, and I'm gonna show y'all with these. So when you're cutting a cutting, you want to go all the way to the bottom of it, like so, and then cut. You know what? I'm just going to cut all these other ones, just to kind of like give it a more proportionate. So here it is. I've cut it. I'm gonna make these little leaf cuttings from it. So what you want to do is first trim off this halfway, and then as you see here, there are these veins. These veins are the lifeline of the begonia, and when you snap them, they will emerge new begonias from there. Just you have to keep them in a high humidity after propagation, because it helps them really push out that growth. But also you could do this style of begonia, for this style of propagation for your begonia. So you want to go around making a little circle, and then like this, and then you have this right here, and then we'll place it into our little then we'll place it into our little container like so, with the soil already in it. I also clipped off some of the other begonia's leaves because I wanted to show y'all. That's like really pretty. I picked this begonia up at Jackson's Home and Garden. It's huge. Okay, so now I have the containers appropriate for their sizes. You want to make sure that they're appropriate for their sizes, because that always helps them root faster and grow better. I fill it with the soil that I have, about this much, and then I'm going to amend all these with vermiculite. Okay, so I have it amended now, and that's how it looks. Pretty much similar to whenever you do it with perlite. Um, and as you see, there are some, and as you see here, there are some few bark chips, but not many. Maybe like one or two. That's just how it is. It doesn't. You don't need a lot. You don't need a lot in it. Just enough to where it covers it, and then you want to make a hole for your begonia leaf. You want to maneuver the soil like around the whole leaf itself, and that's how it's going to look. And they're going to emerge from the inner side of the begonia. I'm going to do all of them, and then I'll return. is a good heavy watering, and from here I feel very confident doing that because I know it's amended properly. This one's amended with perlite, because this is one of my more like delicate begonias, but and my special begonia. So I put a lot of perlite in it before knowing about vermiculite. But that's how I do it, and I am very comfortable doing a heavy watering for it because I know it's gonna do well. But yeah. Well, everyone, thank you all for joining me today. I really appreciate you all supporting my channel, supporting my small business. It means a lot. This is my passion, and I am just very grateful that I get to share this experience with you all, and you all are learning something from me as well. As always, you're more than free to message me. Let me know if you have any questions, and on my Instagram, bluelotus.gardens, and I'll reply back to you. There's a lot of things always going on. My plant shop is always open for everybody to browse and find your next wonderful selection. We're very thankful to be able to be a part of your home, and when you purchase a plant from us, thank you so much. There is a lot more that I'll be doing with my business, so I'll be showing you along the way in my vlogs, and there's a lot of other fun things going on. Visit my website, follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I have a lot of things going on, and overall, thank you again. You all have a great day. Thanks for supporting us. Peace.